What's a psych trick you love to use? Under-promising and over-delivering at work. I also work at a mental hospital and it works with the people I work with. God, I'm so bad at this. Either I under-promise and then hype them up with hints, because I did it right, or I under-promise and under-deliver on that promise, because things went crazy at the last minute. Oh look, I have a clone. Guy calls for 2 pizzas and I tell him we can only make him 1. He says why? Okay, fine. I'll take it. I show up 30 minutes later and give him 10 pizzas. I don't understand why he's upset, but I tell him he's taking all 10. He wants to talk to my manager. The joke's on him. It was a wrong number and I work in a chicken yard. The pizza boxes are full of hay and feathers. He realizes this and by the time he looks up I'm already halfway down the driveway. Dwight, is that you? Sometimes staying silent in a negotiation works in your favor. Silence often feels uncomfortable, so the other party will offer up something by filling the quiet space with words. I used it once to negotiate something with my boss. I stated my case. He hummed and ummed for a bit to himself. I remained silent and he relented. Had I filled that silence with more words, it could have given him time to think of a way to say no. My dad always used to say, the next one who talks loses. I'm declining to speak first. I've noticed that people will let me do kind things for them if they think I'm doing it for selfish reasons. No, let me cook for you. I need to practice making this dish. I actually do this at work. I work at an In-N-Out, and one of my close friends absolutely hates cooking. Thing is, if I ask her if she wants to switch working positions, she says no, because it sounds like I am just doing it for her, which technically I am, but that's besides the point. What I started doing is saying I ask her if she wants to switch, because I am tired of what I am currently doing. This way, not only does she get to stop doing something she doesn't want to do, it's also like she's doing me a favor at the same time. When asking a stranger for help, just cut right to the chase with your question request, then exchange some pleasantries after. What people tend to do usually is hi, how are you doing? I'm so and so. Hey, can I ask you for? It makes the introduction seem less genuine, like it was only to ease your way into something you need. Switching the order makes you come across more honest, and then shows you're actually interested in getting to know them or talking to them past whatever favor they're doing for you. Whenever someone is showing you around or demonstrating something to you, open your mouth ever so slightly. Doesn't have to be much, barely a centimeter is enough. It makes you look intrigued and fascinated by whatever it is you're being shown. Bill Clinton is an absolute master at this. I guess my resting face is one of fascination. My sleeping face is one of fascination. I really use this to show people that I'm interested and to validate them. But I think it backfires and people think I'm dumb. You might be opening it too far. Listening to someone without giving advice or pushing for more information typically nets me more information than being pushy for it. I'm just naturally a shy and quiet person, but still a decent listener, and I frequently end up doing this unintentionally and subconsciously. I generally only provide a minimum of input in a conversation, because I'm too shy to say more, but I do always keep attentively listening. And somehow, that indeed seemed to cause people to say more than they originally intended to say. Yes, not shy exactly, but a patient listener, and people share deep shoot a lot to me. Sometimes I can see them realize they are oversharing, but they can't stop themselves. I don't mind. I think it's a common impulse to want to be heard. People enjoy finding someone to know them. I tell my toddler that I really want to eat her dinner myself. This is broccoli. It's only for adults and big kids. You are too little. I never got the hate on broccoli. That shoot's awesome. Tastes amazing. Is it just because it's green? You're neglecting the fact that some people have parents who are absolutely terrible at cooking anything. That can ruin a lot of foods for a kid. I statements rather than you statements. People generally feel on the offensive when you put something on them, especially when there's an issue. For example, you did this wrong. Can you try it again a different way? Putting the blame on them makes them feel like you're accusing them. Consider I'm not sure if this is right. Can we try this again a different way? Lacks the assumed accusation and shows that you're in it together, not just criticizing them and then leaving. I try to implement it even when it's not a problem statement. Instead of let me know if you need help with anything else, I usually say let me know if there's anything else I can do to help. Symbolically takes the burden off of. I always smile when I see get approached by anyone so they immediately think I'm happy to see them. Makes me a lot of friends and helps conversations start better too. I always smile when meeting new people, because I noticed I got more comfortable when meeting someone new if they were smiling. Holy shoot, you're right. Smiling is a bit of nervous reflex for me, so I tend to do it a lot at things like job interviews, in new situations, etc. When I was hired at my current job, the first week I was there I heard multiple times that I'd made a great impression on people, even a few I'd barely spoken to, because I smiled reflexively when I saw them. If a customer is angry, just let them talk until they finish. Don't interrupt, but do occasionally say things like okay and I understand so they know you are listening. Make notes, and then once they're finished summarize what they said. Most angry customers just want an affirmation that you actually paid attention to the reasons they were pissed off. Once they get that off their chest, they're much more willing to work with you to resolve whatever issue they're having. If we have a follow-up call, I'll usually ask again about the things they were upset about on the previous call, and they're usually pleasantly surprised to know I actually remembered. I really like asking people the time right after they have checked it. Most of them will check again. Interestingly, I heard it's because they're checking what time it isn't. So they don't retain what time it is, just that it isn't X time. When I'm having a deep, intense conversation with someone, and they're divulging things to me, I make sure my face doesn't react and just listen. I ask questions based on the information, many of them leading questions, and let them come to their own conclusions as to what to do about the situation. I also refrain from providing judgment about someone that person is talking about, at least until the story is over. My friends tell me I'm a great listener, and that makes me happy that they feel they can come to me and not be judged, schooled, scolded, etc. I refer to whoever I'm with by wacky nicknames that get progressively wackier over time. If a customer is angry, I just agree WTH them until they calm down. I'm really angry that delivery times are more than a week. Oh, that's a long time. I would be angry too. This is now my most upvoted comment, twice as many upvotes as my second most upvoted comment, which was 4 years ago. This morning I woke up to 70 new inbox posts, and that's the most I've ever had. I think the most I had before that was about 14 at one time. Thank you guys, you rock. Yup, you can de-escalate a lot of situations if you just acknowledge that the other person's emotions are valid. Won't totally fix everything, but it works way better than telling them to calm down or that there's no reason to get so mad. That's just going to piss them off worse and make them dig their heels in. I once had a customer service interview with Blue Cross Blue Shield, where one of their questions was what words or phrases do you use to reassure a customer? And I failed that interview because my answer was I don't. I just have a conversation with them. Then I went to work for Comcast. While my sociopathic supervisor did not approve this answer when he asked me to share secrets of my success with our team, I ended up getting a lot of mileage out of wow, that sucks. Because there is indeed a lot of corporate bullshit, and sometimes your choice is to either be the corporate tool they expect to talk to, or you can be a human being. And I prefer being a human being. Asking someone to do me some small trivial favor before asking them for a major favor. The foot in the door effect. I also enjoy the door in the face effect, or highballing. Hey, can you give me a ride to the airport on Tuesday? Sure, no problem. Oh, and bring a gun. A little trick I learned from the mental game side of tennis. If you ever are in a competition, sport or other, that requires a lot of skill and your opponent is beating the hell out of you, ask them, man, you are playing great today. Come on, tell me, how are you doing that? If your opponent is playing great, they are probably in the zone, meaning muscle memory is taking over and they are not thinking about their performance at all. At that time, it's automatic. Asking them, how are you doing that? forces them out of the zone by having them actively think about what they are doing and in the process, screwing up their great performance. Works like a charm. Can't imagine this hasn't been mentioned, or maybe I just didn't see, but the thing I love most is mirroring people. Whenever someone says something to you, take the last few words and just say them in a questioning tone. Example. Person 1. Oh, I was with Emily today. Person 2. Fit, you were with Emily? This freaking thing is like a magic trick. Whenever you do it, people elaborate on what they were talking about more and you can keep doing it over and over again like a broken record and most people still won't notice. There have been times where I teach someone to mirror and they turn around, mirror me and I don't notice. It's so goddamn easy and works like a charm. It makes people think of you as a good listener as you're literally saying what they said back to them and they also get to keep talking about whatever it is they wanna say. You also get to know more about the situation without coming off as creepy or too curious. Hey honey, are you with the baby? Babe, what the frick?